Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Indie Zone. My name is Kathy. The Idaho State Police has recently released hundreds of pages of narratives to the public. They are available for you to review in their entirety, free of charge. These are public records. I encourage you to review them in a case where so much information, and I'm speaking of Idaho versus Koberger, operated under seal for over 2.5 years. This information provides the public with some glimpses into what the public was not aware of while the Idaho versus Koberger case was proceeding. Also, previously, the Moscow Police Department also released hundreds of pages of narratives that are available for you to review, again free of cost. These are public records that were released prior to the temporary restraining order that was implemented in the Laramie versus City of Moscow cases. What I would like to call your attention to today are two reports. One from the Idaho State Police, one from the Moscow Police Department. Would like to begin with the Idaho State Police's report. It is a document that is entitled Video. There's two words that are redacted as you see here. This is sequence number 0085. The report date is November 19th, 2022. It tells us here under the summary narrative, on November 19th, 2022, I, Idaho State Police Detective Leslie Lehman, and Idaho State Police Trooper Kristen Noah met with, name redacted, owner of, name redacted, Moscow, Idaho, at the Moscow Police Department. Blank reviewed her video surveillance footage from November 13th, 2022, and realized victims Kaylee Gonzalez and Madison Mogan were captured on her camera footage. She allowed me to retrieve the video by granting me access to her cloud account. I preserved the video onto my state-issued cell phone. If we go down to the bottom of page number 1, we see here witness 1 is described as an individual, type work business, Moscow, Idaho. And again, the date of November 19th, 2022. The narrative section on page 1 largely states what has already been said in the summary narrative. So let's go ahead to paragraph 2 on page 2. Using a cell phone application, and it's redacted here, I viewed the video surveillance footage. I was unable to preserve the footage directly from the application, so I made several screen recordings as the footage played on my phone. Blank camera is motion activated and records audio. Notably, Gonzalez and Mogan walk past the camera with, and then two words are redacted, at 1:40:50 hours on November 13th, 2022. Paragraph 3, the video recordings and screenshots I captured of individuals passing the camera were provided to the Moscow Police Department group viewing the video footage of the area. Paragraph 4, additionally, a disk of the footage and screenshots have been saved to disk and will be provided to Moscow Police Department as an attachment to this supplement. And then we see here that concludes this report. I wanted to now bring to your attention another report. This is from the Moscow Police Department. It is a report that was prepared by then Sergeant, now Captain Dustin Blaker. It is sequence number 113. Ladies and gentlemen, we have previously provided content on this specific report and another report. If you have not had an opportunity to review that content, please do. It will provide some background information, because the only thing I want to zero in here and focus your attention on appears at the end of, it's unnumbered, but paragraph 3 in the narrative section here. And it describes that after G, name redacted, stated he was contacted by Kaylee on the evening of November 12th, 2022 to pick her up at 1122 King Road and take her and friends to the Corner Club. The key aspect here that I want to direct your attention to is the last sentence. This is stating as follows: G, redacted, arrived at the grub truck at around 1:49 hours. G took Kaylee and Maddie home. He stated it was a 3 to 4 minute drive from the grub truck to 1122 King Road. If I could interject a few comments, this is pure opinion and speculation. 3 to 4 minutes from 1:49 hours would be approximately 1:53 or 1:52 a.m. on November 13th, 2022. Crucial time. This is shortly before the start of the timeline of the crimes at 1122 King Road, per the law enforcement and the state of Idaho in the matter styled as Idaho versus Koberger. If we go back to the ISP's report that we just addressed, it states here that notably Gonzalez and Mogan walked past the camera with blank at approximately 1:41 a.m. with a third party, name redacted. This might be the camera footage of the infamous "What did you tell Adam? I told Adam everything" that has been circulating on the internet for more than 2 years now. But the more crucial issue here is that it appears that this time, 1:41 a.m., with what is stated in the MPD report, and these timelines, these are timelines that are relatively close to the crime. So there are some unanswered questions here. In my opinion, I think they're important ones to help to establish, amongst other things, the timeline. If you have any comments, any thoughts, any opinions relative to this matter, please leave them here. Until next time, this is Kathy. Thank you for joining us here today.